Boavilla, Kim, and Saltzman are present, and we have a quorum. Number 1 on the agenda, commission comments.
How many people here binge-watched The Jinx in the last 3 days? All 6 episodes. Okay, just wondered. I saw a few people yawning. I just wondered if that was the reason. No other comments from me. Okay, let's go.
Okay, number 2 on the agenda, the report of the Chief of Police, Chief Beck.
Good morning, Commissioners. Busy weekend this weekend. We had 22,000 participants in the LA Marathon. Went off very well. Testament to the men and women that organized it and that policed it. We also, as Commissioner Soboroff referenced, arrested Robert Durst for the murder of Susan Berman. We look forward to bringing Mr. Durst to trial in Los Angeles to meet those charges. A probationary officer with less than a year as a Los Angeles police officer is wanted in conjunction with a homicide that occurred in Pomona. I intend to process the paperwork for his termination today. Carlos Quesada, a 10-year veteran of the Los Angeles Police Department, was also arrested for illegally transporting a Mexican national into the United States. It's a serious charge, and if true, could result in his termination. Those are the most of the current events, although we also had 2 homicides this weekend, which we are diligently investigating, many of which were in retaliation, and a number of shootings, some of which were in retaliation for a homicide that occurred in Newton Division on Friday the 13th. Crime stats, we've made some progress on homicide. We're down 4.3% as compared to last year, and 8.3% compared to 2013. Of course, 2013 was the lowest year for homicides in decades, recording just 251. So I don't know if we'll be able to equal that, but we're on track. Rapes were up by in total, about 4%. Robberies were up by 22%. Aggravated assaults were up by 36%. Gives us a violent crime picture of an increase primarily driven by those aggravated assaults, many of which occur in the downtown central area, by 28%. Property crime across the board is up by 11.3%. The category that is down is personal theft and other thefts. Gives us a total Part 1 crime picture year-to-date of an increase of 14% compared to 2014 and 8% compared to 2013. We are about on track to be equal with 2012 at this point. All of the bureaus show a crime increase, led by Central Bureau, followed by Valley Bureau. Followed by South Bureau, West Bureau, and then last is Valley Bureau with the lowest increase. Gang crime shows an increase over last year of about 15%. So we're tracking gang crime. Gang homicides, however, are down, which is, of course, is positive. Traffic collisions, we have about an 11% increase in overall traffic collisions. Serious traffic collisions are down 19%, and fatal traffic collisions are down about 32%. So more serious traffic collisions are down significantly. Driving under the influence, related traffic accidents are up about 12%. Hit and runs in total are up about 6%, and we're even on hit and run fatals, same as last year. Motor vehicle versus pedestrians are down about 4%, and serious injury or fatalities are down 12%. Bicycle-involved traffic collisions are down overall. We have 9,896 sworn personnel on payroll, 2,697 civilian personnel with 580 vacancies. We have just at 400 reserve officers, 373 specialist volunteers, 62 chaplain counselors, and 6,704 cadets in our program, many of which helped with the marathon this weekend. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. We do have one public comment card on this item. We have Prentice Jenkins.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, sir.
I'd like to address the issue of, in terms of crime statistics.
Can you speak into the mic?
Yeah,
into
I'd
the
like to
mic voice?
address the issue in terms of crime statistics.
Thank you.
The criminal behavior of officers based on their post-traumatic stress disorder. You have an epidemic of post-traumatic stress disorder in the police department and fire department. And, of course, post-traumatic stress disorder is a recognized disorder by the American Psychiatric Association. And because you have these officers and firemen that have post-traumatic stress disorder, a lot of the killings out on the street have nothing to do, it's my suspicion, they have nothing to do with racism. It has everything to do with mental illness. You have a problem with mental illness in the police department and fire department. These guys are standing straight right now, and they look like, they got it together. But post-traumatic stress disorder suggests that you have to look like you have it together. But they're screaming inside right now. And you got an epidemic of alcoholism, drug addiction by police officers and firemen, especially firemen. And fireman Matthew Phillipson was caught buying 7 balls of heroin. He's a chief. This man, 7 balls of heroin is a lot of heroin for one person. So my suspicion is he was taking it back to the station. You got firemen stalking people, running up and down the street, taking out a fire ladder, coming back and forth across my window, shining their light at my window. You got an epidemic of homosexuality in the police department, cops on the down low who see straight men on the street and they go crazy. Firemen doing that and they go crazy. And what I want the commission to do is address that issue.
Thank you. Item number 3, report of the Executive Director, Mr. Tiefling.
Good morning, Mr. President, members of the Commission. No report today.
Morning.
Thank you. Item number 4 on the agenda, the report of the Inspector General, Mr. Bustamante.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just a brief update. Last week, myself and members of my staff were in Operation Ceasefire's meeting in South Los Angeles in the evening, and we discussed a matter of things, including use of force investigations and the role of the IG's office in providing oversight over the Los Angeles Police Department. We've been asked to come back and talk about more specific issues in detail, and we're planning to do that and work out schedules with them. And this is just a part of our ongoing outreach in the community. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Item number 5 consists of information items and filed items relative to noise variances and special event permits submitted for the period ending March 13, 2015. Item number 6, presentations. Do we have any presentations?
Not today.
Thank you. Item number 7, consent agenda items. These items are considered to be routine and non-controversial, upon which the board is provided with adequate information for approval without inquiry or discussion. Would a commissioner wish to pull an item as special for discussion, 7A through 7E?
Move approval of items 7A through 7E.
With thanks to the donors, I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We're now on item number 8, regular agenda items. We do have a comment card on 8C. Would a commissioner wish to pull an item as special for your discussion?
Move approval of items 8A and 8B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have a comment card for 8C, Prentice Jenkins.
Okay, we're back to the post-traumatic stress disorder that is suffered by police and firemen. Also, you had an incident in New York where the firemen continued to harass a psycho named William Spangler. He shot them to death, and they knew he was going to do it. My suspicion is a lot of those fires that firemen are trapped in, some of those firemen could have got out of those fires. They just didn't want to. They want the nightmares to stop. The nightmares going day after day after day, night after night. I know you may not think this is important, but post-traumatic stress amongst policemen and firemen is truly important. These guys got guns. We're not armed, and they have guns. Everybody wants to know, why did that shooting happen? That shooting downtown a couple of weeks ago, had the cops not showed up, it would have resolved itself, and that man would still be alive. They resolve themselves all the time. I live downtown, right next to Skid Row, so I know those incidents resolve themselves all the time. You got firemen running into each other in Monterey or California. You just assume that was an accident, but it wasn't. No one checked those firemen for drugs. I mean, they did, but it was the police department that did the investigation. So we don't know whether they were on drugs, crack cocaine, heroin. Here's this fire chief, Matthew Phillipson, got caught buying heroin. So we know firemen are on heroin, and they have post-traumatic stress disorder. So the commission's doing nothing about this. You're doing nothing about treating these men's post-traumatic stress disorder. Trust me, I believe we need cops. We do. I'm not one of those people that say you don't need cops. We do need cops. I live out there, so I know we need cops. We just don't need cops killing people just because they had a fight with their wife.
Thank you. We're now on item number 9, public comment. We have no speaker cards.
You need a motion on item
I'm
8C.
sorry, sir.
Approval of item 8C.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We're now on item number 9, public comment. We have no speaker cards. We'll move to item number 10, closed session. The Board of Police Commissioners will now recess into closed session to discuss item number 10A and B in accordance with Government Code 54957.
Hi, this is Carretero family.
We are from East Los Angeles, Boyle Heights.